Alright, how's it going everybody? Today we're going to be doing another Nomad survival guide, and this guide is going to be on the achievement that has the lowest rate, basically. So the achievement that the least amount of people have, and that's going to be called Dungeon Keeper. And this achievement is you need to beat the third map, the Ruined Dungeon, without re-rolling and without opening any chests. And let me tell you, it is a very difficult achievement. I have to say, it's been very frustrating not being able to play the game in the way I want to play the game. If you've seen any of my other videos, I definitely, I don't want to say heavily rely on, but heavily enjoy the Nomad heritage. I think the Nomad heritage is the best heritage, and that's because this game is definitely all about what passives and what weapon skills you have, and the Nomad heritage is the best heritage for that. So it's been interesting. I get to play a couple other heritages. I've been testing around, seeing what's the most effective and stuff like that, and I've tried to do some stupid things too at the same time. And what this achievement has done is taught me a lot about the map, I have to say. And so I'll probably be making another video that specifically focuses on this third map, because it is definitely the map with the highest difficulty, and it's going to focus on kind of the best way to play this map, in my opinion anyways. There's definitely some things that you need to focus on, like crystal placement, and what skills are the best, and how much of the screen you have in vision. These are all things that really do have a very large impact on the game, and if you play correctly and like are kind of actively thinking about everything that's going on, it can just make your playthrough significantly easier. And there's also some like really cheesy spots on this map that are, I don't want to say ridiculous, but they're very, very funny interactions. So hopefully I don't get too screwed over here with this crystal placement, and it seems like it was pretty generous to me. It's not in the worst place in the world. The worst place on the map for the crystal to spawn is 100% the location that is in the middle of the like broken kind of area. It's near one of the teleport doors, and that location is so difficult to consistently clear out the crystal without kind of putting yourself in a terrible situation. Looks like the boss has spawned. I have to say, this has definitely been the hardest spot for this map. It's dealing with this boss, and that's mostly because generally, again, if you've seen any of my other videos, I like to play, a certain way, and that is, get X, Y, and Z if you're playing X, Y, and Z, and a lot of those things focus on having a skill specifically for bossing, because while everyone's weapons ability is fantastic, and by weapon ability I mean the special ability of the characters, some of them are just significantly better at clearing bosses and minions versus others. And my favorite class is the cultist, and the reason being, I don't feel like you need many other weapon abilities for generic minion clear. And as you can see, I mean, with SP regen boost or without it, your clear is fantastic with the cultist. So that's, normally my favorite. And I would generally play around getting like Icicle Barrage and Fireball. Fireball, definitely #1 bossing skill for sure. But things like that, Magic Missile, etc., etc. I'm playing around that. So this no reroll thing has definitely been very interesting. It's forced me into playing some pretty odd ways, I have to say. But it's been fun, and hopefully we'll be able to get this achievement on this attempt. I would definitely recommend playing the cultist if you are going to be trying this achievement. I would say it is significantly easier than any of the others, and the reason being basically what I talked about. Its clear is just fantastic. You don't really have to worry too much about getting too many other skills for it. So I think it's the best in these types of situations, especially without relics. Weapon skills rely so heavily on relics. I don't think too many people realize that. until they're in the situation where they don't have any. That is me. I am realizing this. So it has definitely been very fun playing just with the natural abilities and stuff like that. And I have to say, the hardest thing is just dodging all of the projectiles from these ranged minions. It has definitely been hard. Alright, so this is one of the locations I wanted to show you guys. If you're ever running into a situation where you're having a hard time clearing out minions, or maybe you need to catch a breath, basically, this location is fantastic for doing that. In this spot, you don't have to worry about almost anything. It isn't a great location for when the specters spawn, for example, because they can just go through walls and you can't damage them, but when you're in a situation like this and all that spawning is normal mobs, when you're playing any class, you can stand here and kind of cheese all the enemies. The reason being, there's just not that much screen showing, they're not able to spawn behind you on this map, and this funnels all of the characters between two locations. When you're playing a character like the Cultist, basically one weapon ability is going to be able to clear that out. It's fantastic. So recommend playing here. This is a very good location for the Necromancer. This is a good location for the Divine. All I can recommend really is to try and pick up item pickup range. Since I am doing the no reroll achievement, I do not have item pickup range very high, and this has forced me to basically not be able to get a lot of the XP. But with the XP changes and being able to have them stack on top of each other, it's not that bad in regards to that, so I would say for the most part I'm not doing too terribly. I'll just make occasional little dashes to grab the experience, basically. One of the other things I'll say that is very important for this playthrough is the skull that you just saw. So that skull, you can stand in this location, so there's two spots. It's the spot that I'm currently standing, this is a good place to cheese things, and then that location over here behind this wall is a good location to cheese things. You can stand there. I had 4 crystals spawned at the same time and was still able to take care of everything without any issues. So if you are having any problems, I would definitely recommend standing there. And if you're lucky enough to get a skull drop, that will wipe the whole screen, so that'll take care of all those crystals at the same time. If you ever have a crystal that spawns in a location that's just going to be really difficult for you to get to, I would definitely recommend playing like that. Alright, so the final boss is here. The hardest ability to deal with is definitely going to be the fire. It always is. And I would say the main reason is because it persists. The other thing I need to worry about, not stepping on top of a chest. I need to get away from this location where all my chests is spawned, because it is not making it easy for me. But you can see why I go Icicle Barrage. Icicle Barrage is pretty fantastic for this type of situation. Any directional ability is going to be really good for this boss. And then you can just run away. I like to play on the very long hallways if you can on this type of map. And it gives you a lot of room to run, basically. Which I know is kind of silly, but hey, say, you know, you got high HP regen, you win HP regen build or something like that, you can use this to kind of get away and regen your HP. I'm just using this because there's so many particles on my screen that I honestly can't see where the boss is. I have an idea because of the ability, but yeah, I don't honestly know where the boss is at. And I'm mostly just trying to avoid walking into any chests. There he is. My good friend, the boss. Gonna stand still. Oh, fantastic. Alright, I got the achievement. So that is awesome, yeah. Definitely recommend playing the Cultist. The Cultist is always fantastic, I have to say. So definitely the best clear without having to worry about what weapon skills you have, and I think that's exactly what you're looking for in this situation. You want a character that's going to have no problems clearing out the minions, because sometimes you just get unlucky. I was pretty fortunate. I got Chain Light Shock pretty high, got to level 10, and then Spectral Sword. This is almost necessary no matter what class you're playing. I try to get it to level 10 because then you get an extra spectral sword and that's going to increase your clear speed, but not that big of a deal. And then I would say Ice Cool Barrage and Great Divider, directional based abilities are going to be very strong here during this challenge, so I would recommend that because there's a lot of times where you're just running away because of those specters, and if you're not comfortable doing that looping mechanic that I was doing where I was just running in a circle around them, because they go very slow now after the nerf, so you could basically just do a very small circle around them and not worry about it. So if you're not comfortable with that though, you can just always go ahead and just run down long hallways. I think that's the best thing normally. I would say the biggest issue is at minute 9 to 11 when those big face eyeball tongue dudes spawn. They have a lot of HP, they take up a lot of screen, so it's really easy to hit you. So I'd be very careful in that situation. But other than that, this wasn't too difficult, but if you're playing with other classes, it is very hard, I have to say. So I played a couple with Adventurer, Necromancer, and Whisper, and all of those were not having good times on the third boss, basically. Just because the mobs that spawn at that time, the humans with the shield and the humans with the bow and arrows, they have a very high HP. And if you're not fortunate enough to get over to the crystal and take care of it really quickly, you're going to have an issue. And that's another reason why the cultist is so strong, is they can one-shot those with no issue. Makes the crystals almost irrelevant. If you want to go ahead and play in some of those cheese spots, you totally can. I'm going to make another video on those locations so that the third map is a little bit easier for everybody if you're having any issues. But other than that, that was the Dungeon Keeper Run achievement. If you're looking for an achievement that is the rarest in this game, that is the achievement you want to go for. And you can always check that out on Steam. You can see which achievements everyone has. So, as always, thank you so much for stopping by. Thank you for the subs and the likes, and I will see you guys on the next one.